special good morning to our listeners and viewers. Welcome to The Point. It's Wednesday, the 10th day of September 2025. Good morning to one and all, especially those of you via social media platforms, whether it's a Facebook page, YouTube channels. Good morning. Welcome. Let me say good morning to my guest this morning, representing the Ministry of Education. We have Mr. Johnell Mitchell with us this morning. Mr. Mitchell, good morning. Welcome, sir. How are you doing?
Good morning to you, GT, and it's always a pleasure to be here.
All right.
Good morning to the listening audience, viewing audience, wherever you are. Likewise, good morning.
All right, man. Let's get a bit of the formalities out of the way, as you would say. Tell us, Johnell Mitchell, you what you do with the Ministry of Education?
Currently, I am the Curriculum Support Officer for the OECS Pearl and OECS Pearl Program for Educational Advancement and Relevant Learning. We're in a space where there is a project that's been funded by the GP Global Partnership for Education. And under that particular project, there are a number of initiatives that have been taking place. My current role speaks more so to the aspect of curriculum and assessment. There are a number of components that's affiliated with it. We think of leadership and management. We look at early childhood education, special education needs, the whole aspect of monitoring, evaluation. Right. So all of these different components fall under the OECS Pearl. But in my capacity, though, I am under the curriculum and assessment component of the OECS Pearl as the curriculum support officer representing the Ministry of Education.
Okay, great. Our focus conversation this morning, we will actually be talking about that new digital OECS harmonized primary curriculum. That's our focus conversation this morning.
Definitely.
To get that off the bat, tell us about how the significance of this OECS Pearl initiative and that new digital OECS harmonized primary curriculum within the Ministry of Education.
No,
I hope I didn't say too much within there.
No. While it might be a mouthful, they're all connected in one way or the other. One of the things that we need to have an appreciation for is the whole aspect of curriculum reform. Taking into consideration that the last time within the OECS, and let me just backtrack here to set a foundation, we share a common curriculum with the OECS territories, and that's why it is known as the OECS Harmonized Primary Curriculum. Right. The last review prior to now was in 2005.
Okay.
So many things have happened over these last 20 years. We have children who come into this world and they're already digital. No one has to teach them. So we had to learn everything.
So true.
So hence the whole aspect of digitizing our curriculum, and that's why we call it the digital primary curriculum. Now, while yes, it is digital, what it offers, it just basically offers teachers, parents, and all stakeholders the opportunity to access the curriculum from a digital standpoint, with a number of features, which we will get into as we continue the discussion. So under the GP project, with the initiative under the curriculum and assessment component, the OECS saw the need to revisit our curriculum, to make changes to the current construct, to update and make it relevant. Note well, within Pearl, it is relevant. Relevant to when? Relevant to our time, relevant to our society, relevant to our culture, relevant to the things that are immediate and impacting us in one way or the other. So it is a whole revolutionized project to ensure that our curriculum in itself, that OECS curriculum, is up to date and it is relevant to the time that we live in, and it can impact teaching and learning in one way or the other.
I like the idea when you put it, when you say that it keeps it current, or everyday way of life now. Having a curriculum that suits especially the younger generation today, or what they are more interested in, you understand, but still offering that level that allow them to learn in the traditional way still.
Correct.
Technically, it's still in the traditional way, but just know in a digital format, that the everyday youngster will go to their tablet or their computer at home and so forth, grasp that information that they need. Not that we forsaken the books and all of that.
Nope.
They still have 100% relevance.
Correct.
You understand? Still have 100, but just that particular way of distributing the information now is am I right by seeing it in that particular way?
Yes, and you are correct in the sense that when we speak to a digital curriculum, what it is basically saying, the curriculum, the contents of the curriculum, it's available in a digital format.
Great.
A matter of fact, we are also aware of the challenges that being a part of a digitized age can bring, the risks that are affiliated with it. Yeah. In the sense that we know technology can fail us.
Yes.
At any time. There can be glitches.
I had it this morning.
Exactly. So, in conceptualizing the whole idea and thinking it through, this thing was well crafted out.
Yeah.
There is the online and the offline component of this.
Okay.
So, one's internet might be giving is problems right now, but there is a PDF format of this curriculum that is available for our teachers to use. So all they need to do is to go into the platform, the OECS Learning Hub, they download it, and they have it there in storage.
Okay.
In case there is an issue with the digital aspect of it. But when we speak about the digital curriculum, it is not only about saying that the students need to have a laptop or phone or tablet or something like that available. What that platform does, it gives teachers the opportunity to explore a number of avenues. So, for example, in creating a lesson plan, when you go into that digital platform and the teacher generates that lesson plan, pulling from the curriculum, it gives the teacher a number of areas that they can use to meet the different learning styles of all of our students. So it will say to the teacher, for example, when the lesson plan is generated and the teacher puts in, because by the way, I always say the teachers are the ones who know the students sitting in front of them.
Sure.
So the teacher has a major input in that. So teacher gives all the prompts that will relate to the class, the student in front of him or her. And once they get the prompts, they review the lesson plan. It might say to them, now you are teaching a lesson. So to teach that lesson, you may need to take the students on a field trip around the school based on the environment. So when we talk about digital, it's not a matter of just sitting and you have a tablet or a computer in front of you.
I'm happy that you brought it across, because I was having
so we want to get that clear.
That whole component of it, as you mentioned. Well, it's not opening up for everybody, but the main aspect of it is how the teacher will grab the curriculum in terms of how they present it to their students. Am I right for saying it that way?
Yes. You are very much so correct. And let me also add this. Because the curriculum is digital, it is accessible to everyone.
Okay.
Before the curriculum that we basically had, yes, we had books, they were printed books and all of that, and soft copies. They were not available. However, now parents can access that. Teachers, anyone who is really interested in understanding what is being taught at a primary level.
So I guess the secondary level also.
Well, eventually there's something in the making for the secondary level.
So it's primary focus.
Yes, it is primary level. Correct. It is focused on the primary level. So our OECS territories, we use that same curriculum.
Okay.
Now, we may say, the OECS uses the same curriculum. We share similar culture in one way or the other, but one might still say what's happening in Anguilla is not happening in Grenada, and I love that in the sense that in writing the curriculum, we had a number of writers throughout the OECS coming together to write that. Grenada, we had at least 25 of our education officials, principals, teachers involved in crafting that curriculum. Coming out of that, we were able to add local aspects of our culture into that curriculum. Examples and activities, learning assessments, learning strategies, assessment strategies, and those things that are given, they are culturally related. So, the teacher in Grenada can identify with some of the things that we've placed there. Some of the activities, they are Grenada related.
Okay.
It may speak to our lakes. It may speak to or plants and the things that we interact with. It may speak to cultural activities. A matter of fact, for the social studies component of it, I know even now the social studies curriculum officer, the one responsible for social studies, they are working on local Grenadian content that will be embedded in that aspect of it. So while yes, we may share similar history with the way we were colonized and all of these other aspects, there is a local aspect of it that is being added to it.
So that's the we component.
That's
part of it.
for
that particular island, to say.
Exactly.
That part of it. I mean, and it's a major milestone. I would say in terms of the overall curriculum has been how it's been exposed to the past state, I would say.
Definitely. That milestone, as I said, when you think of what the teachers were working with before, all they basically had the different strands under the different subject areas and some mere objectives.
Yeah.
And we said to them, use this, teach. Now we've equipped them with the objectives, we've equipped them with the strands, we've equipped them with strategies for teaching, we've equipped them with strategies for assessment, we've equipped them with the lesson planning, how to ease lesson planning. In my day when I was a teacher, we had to sit, pull the books from here, there, and everywhere and write our lesson plan.
But it leads me to ask a question to you also. What's the takeaway from this in that aspect that's always been presented, right? What's the takeaway in it?
It supports greater collaboration with the whole aspect of teaching and learning. It gives the teachers a number of avenues that they can use to reach all of our students. We speak of inclusive education, meeting the need of every learner. So what this digitized curriculum has done, it has presented to teachers, to education officials, to parents, a platform where we can ensure that every student gets an equal opportunity to learn. Within that curriculum, there are some of our schools here that we call multi-grade schools.
Okay.
Because of the size of those schools, you may have a grade 2 and a grade 3 in one classroom.
Yes.
Prior to that, the teacher had to figure out, how am I going to work with that grade 2 and the grade 3 class together? And I believe in our teachers, by the way. I believe we have some excellent teachers out there. And they got it done. And they're still getting it done. But what this platform in its current construct has done, it has shown them how you can take objectives from the grade 2, objectives of the grade 3, how you can bring it together, how you can tier your teaching, how you can make adjustments to make sure that the different abilities, the different levels right there and then within the classroom can be accommodated for, pulling from the curriculum. And
a smooth delivery to the students.
To the students within that one class,
yes.
But different levels, ensuring that they are fully covered for. So these are the things that are added to that curriculum.
All right. Interesting to know. We due for a break. Let's take a we come back. We continue the conversation. Stay with us, folks. To the Point, Classic Radio, GBN TV. We're moving down to just about 20 minutes after the hour. We will be right back after the break. Don't touch it down.
On Sunday, November the 9th from 5 p.m. at the Grenada Trade Center, Legends Promotion presents the 19th annual Hubbard's Legends in Concert featuring the best of Grenada, along with 2 special guest artists. This edition promises to be extra special. Get ready, Grenada, to be blown with surprises at the 19th annual Hubbard's Legends in Concert, Sunday, November the 9th, 5 p.m. Grenada Trade Center. Stay tuned to GBN for more.
Are you ready to take charge of your money, build wealth, and protect your family's legacy? Then join us on October 9th, 2025 at Radisson Grenada Beach Resort for your Financial Future 2.0, Legacy, Literacy, and Liberation, a one-day financial summit designed to break cycles, build wealth, and leave a lasting legacy. You'll gain real-life budgeting hacks, a money mindset reboot, steps to create generational wealth, and practical tips on investing, estate planning, insurance, health, and business finance, all from expert speakers who know how to turn knowledge into action. With 2 inspirational keynotes, 3 powerful panel discussions, and 6 breakout sessions, you will leave with your personalized action plan for success. Don't wait. Secure your seat today. Tickets are EC $350 at disruptiveleadershipconference.com/YFF. Your Financial Future 2.0. Your next chapter starts here.
Hey, Lynn.
Hey, neighbor.
Here's the bill I asked you to pay for me.
How did you get your electricity bill to be so low?
For one, we size our transformers just for what we need. And we unplug transformers, chargers, and other devices when they're not in use. We also replaced our light bulbs with LEDs.
They burn less energy, right?
Much less. I even replaced the seal on my refrigerator door to keep the cold air in.
And Glen is always advising us not to open the fridge too often.
That's right. And my family washes and irons in bulk.
So while Grenada can't control fuel prices, I can conserve energy and save money.
Glen, energizing our Grenada.
Welcome back to our listeners. Welcome back to our viewers. Welcome back, Mr. Mitchell. Welcome back. I want to ask this. No, before the full pilot, implementation of this new digital OECS, harmonized primary school curriculum, there was a micro pilot. All right. I want you to talk to me about that micro pilot period, of course, which schools were part of that micro pilot. Talk to me in relation to that.
All right. So, currently we're in the pilot phase of the curriculum.
Yeah.
And as you're correctly stating, there was a micropilot. The micropilot of the curriculum ran from last school year, which was 2024 to 2025. So we're speaking of September 2024 to July 2025. Within that phase, we had our pilot schools. We have 12 of them spread across all our educational districts, including Carriacou, where we have 1 school from Carriacou, and that's the Mount Pleasant Government School. We introduced this curriculum to the teachers because we want to appreciate the fact that we just did the writing, and in writing it, we wanted to see some of the issues, some of the challenges before we did the piloting of it. So during that micro-pilot phase, we shared it with teachers and we said to them, we just want you to play around with all the different aspects. Go into the curriculum, see how it is similar to the old one that we have been using. But still we're using that old one, but they were using aspects of the new one that we've presented to them. See how the lesson planner is working. See how the quiz maker is working. See how the assessment analytics aspect of it is working. See how the content generator is working. See whether or not it's helping you. What are the challenges that you're faced with? What's there that you would want to see and you're not seeing? So we use all of that kind of information to help us better understand where the curriculum is at, to prepare us for this pilot phase. During that micro-pilot phase, additionally, we did a lot of onboarding. So all of our schools, we did onboarding with the schools. We met with a number of stakeholders, our education partners. We met with them. We shared it with them. We listened to their voices, and we gathered ideas as to how to better equip the current setup of the curriculum to be ready for the pilot phase that's happening. So what we're seeing now in the pilot is an improved, advanced version of what we used in the micropilot phase. So this is what the micropilot did for us. It informed us as to what should be happening with the curriculum, the changes that we needed to make, and quite a few changes. Our teachers gave us quite a bit of feedback to enhance it. So we only had our 12 schools, only the 12 schools, 12 pilot schools, participating in that micropilot. Now, what has happened, we've now rolled out this curriculum because we have full complete implementation taking place next school year, 2026, September. But for this phase of it, all of our primary schools are engaged in the use of the curriculum. We will be supporting them in many different ways. However, though, our main concentration will be on the pilot schools because they are targeted. There are a number of things that we have to do with them. But all of our schools, primary level, will be using that digital curriculum. We'll be interacting with it because likewise we want to hear from a wider space, the issues that they are facing with, the things that they're seeing, things that they would like to see, because you want to appreciate for that big implementation, we want to make sure that we get it right.
What has been that general feedback from, especially from teachers who has participated in the of course, in the micro pilot and all the schools also per se in general? What has been that feedback like? I know you did say they gave information in terms of what the improvements they would like to see and so forth as they follow. What has that feedback been thus far? From the Ministry of Education? Right.
From where I sit, and I have interacted with all of the schools, all of the teachers, all of the principals, it is something that they've said we truly embrace. A matter of fact, what you find happening, some of the older teachers who are ready to retire or who've been, as you say, seasoned, they were saying, well, where was this all the time? Why didn't you guys do this before? So they are saying it has helped them tremendously. Just imagine, for example, you have a platform where a teacher can give an assessment before he or she teaches. And within a minute, the teacher can get immediate feedback from an assessment telling them which item or which concept needs to be retaught.
Okay.
All right. Which area poses the most amount of challenge to students.
All right.
The students right there and then can see, as they engage in this quick assessment, the items that are troubling them. And the platform is going to say to them, this is the area you're having trouble in, but this is the approach, or this is the correct answer. So immediately diagnosis happens. What does that do for a teacher? The teacher adjusts the lesson to ensure that enough coverage is given to the areas that are giving problems. They've embraced that. When a teacher said to you, I no longer have to stay into 10 o'clock or into midnight planning lessons for the week, but I have a platform where I can put in all the information that I need, and within a couple of minutes I can get 5 or 6 lesson plans that will help me be effective in the classroom. When you have a platform where a new teacher who's coming in, because you want to understand and appreciate, we have new teachers. And in my time, when I got there, we had some seasoned teachers, and they would come and they would sit with you. They would show you the ropes, tell you, okay, this is how you plan, this is what you do. But when you really look at the average age of most of our teachers, you see quite a few young teachers in the classroom now, and they need the support. So through this initiative, they can go right there, pull the lesson plans, and the heads of departments, the principals can just look at it and just kind of scaffold them.
And that's how we follow.
And that's how we follow and all of that. So it's right there at the fingertips.
Tell me, timeline. I know you said there were 12 schools at the pilot stage. Is there a timeline where as all the other schools will be involved and a smooth roll-off of this? You did say next school year. Were you hopeful for that full implementation of it?
All right. So let me just back up first of all. This initiative is a 4-year initiative.
Okay.
It's a 4-year initiative. Started in 2021. However, though, because of where we are and the amount of work that still has to go into it, especially this final component of the curriculum and assessment, there has been a 1-year extension.
Okay.
So we are in the final year.
Okay,
that's why we're moving off into 2026. We should have ended now.
Okay.
But we're going to be finishing in 2026. And for the first couple of years, the other aspects, so early childhood education, they benefited tremendously. We're talking about outfitting of spaces and resources and all of that. Special education needs, they benefited. assistive devices and all of that. School leadership, and everything comes together. Everything ties in together. When we talk about school leadership, equipping our educational leaders to lead.
Okay.
So now, that curriculum and assessment component of it is in its final phase. When I say final, in the sense of the pilot of the 4-year program. So after this, now, as I said, all of our schools are involved in it right now, but the major concentration will be with our pilot schools. Because come 2026, all of our schools will be pulling on this curriculum to use it. We are in a space where we're lending support to those schools. And how are we lending support? As a matter of fact, just last Thursday and Friday, we had some training with coaches, observations, and we had principals, education officials throughout the OECS, where we came together. We looked at documents that would be needed to go into the classrooms and observe those teachers, and as they teach, we have some interaction with them as to how the new curriculum is impacting teaching and learning. It is, and we're also asking our education officials and our principals to be supportive of the project, because it's new. It will take some time for teachers to adjust. You know, when things are new, what happens?
It takes some time to get that feel, as we would say.
There'll be some kinks and all of that along the way, where that we need to iron out, we need to smooth out. So we're saying, let's support our teachers.
Tell me about some of the adjustments that the Ministry of Education had to make, especially during the pilot phases also.
The beauty of this is, well, yes, some adjustments had to be made. Our officers of the Ministry of Education going to do school observations and school visits, it's a part of the regular schedule. Okay. It is things that they do. However, within this phase now, we need to, as education officials, as a Ministry of Education, we need our education officials to go out there. And that's what we've also worked with them as they go to the schools. What they will be basically doing, the attention, instead of just doing observations of lessons and support, but we want to know how the impact of that digital platform. How are teachers using it? How is it improving teaching and learning? Are you seeing the averages of performance within the classroom? Is it impacting it in a positive way? So we want them to be a bit more intimate. So these are the kind of simple adjustments. It's not that they've not been interacting with teachers. They have been interacting with teachers and principals and all of that. But now we want them to be a bit more intimate with the platform, with teachers, to help us understand and to give teachers the support, greater support that is, in utilizing the platform to transform our education landscape. Because we want to appreciate the fact, we cannot be blinded to the fact that there are areas where we are failing. And we firmly believe that this platform, this new curriculum, once used effectively with all of the innovative tools that we are providing, it can assist tremendously in transforming how teaching and learning occurs.
A question that comes to mind, maybe I should have asked you earlier. That new digital platform, that in terms of the curriculum, is it broad-based enough, which goes through to all different levels of teaching? When I say broad-based enough, I'm talking about maybe does it support physical education teachers? I wonder if you understand where I'm coming.
I'm getting you, and that's why I smile. That's why I smile. Now, let me just say this. And when I speak primary, I'm speaking of kindergarten to grade 6. Again, within that curriculum, as our writers wrote the curriculum, they showed you how a math lesson can be linked to social studies. Okay. It showed you how a social studies lesson can be linked to art, and to physical education, as you stated. It shows you how it can cater for the students with learning disabilities. A matter of fact, one of the things we did, and that happened during the micropilot phase, from Grenada's standpoint, when we looked at the curriculum, we realized, but no, we were asking to make accommodation for students with special needs. But when we looked at the curriculum, there was nothing there for them.
Okay.
So what we did, we pulled all our focal points, all our special needs, education needs focal points together, and we said, look, we have a number of students with learning disabilities. How do we cater for them? And they were able to give us a long list. And they were able to provide to us what kind of teaching accommodations that must be made for them. We took that information and we submitted it to the OECS Commission to ensure that it is a part of the curriculum. And tell you what, within a couple of weeks, we were able to see the changes.
Okay.
So that's a broad base and far-reaching. A matter of fact, when you go into that learning hub, that curriculum learning hub, and you may have students or who may be visually impaired, there's a screen reader for you.
Okay.
So you click on that accessibility feature, you highlighted the text, it reads the curriculum for you.
Okay.
You may have some visual issues. You can cause the text to go bigger. You can increase the spacing. The dyslexic students, the font size may change in one way or the other. There are a number of features that the teacher can interact with.
So all components was actually fit into this.
This product, and I must add this product was well thought out.
Okay.
Well thought out. And as we say, this is our curriculum. We did not buy it. It was made by us. It was not something we adopted from, or we took wholesale from North America or from Europe.
Great,
yes,
great.
In writing that new curriculum, we pulled on sources from all these places, but it was made by us, for us. It is an OECS curriculum that was made by us, for us, taking everything into consideration.
I want to get this up from you also before we drew for a break, but I want to get this up. We're talking about stakeholders. How has it been in terms of the stakeholders' engagement, especially when I say that parents, guardians, and especially and in terms of the planning, how to do so? In terms of, you did mention earlier that a parent could go look at the curriculum themselves. How has this engagement been in terms of keeping abreast with that new format of the curriculum?
And stakeholder involvement and engagement is rather important. And through the onboarding aspect of it, we've met with the Grenada Union of Teachers because you need the support. We've met with the Conference of Churches, have an appreciation for the impact the church plays in the whole aspect of education within our nation, and we have a number of schools that are affiliated with our churches. We've met with community groups. We've had social media platform programs and all of that. So the engagement has been wide. A matter of fact, just yesterday after the launch, one of our principals met me and he said, I need you to come to do something with our parents so that they can understand and have a greater appreciation for what this curriculum can do. So that's another initiative. And we've, even prior to the writing of the curriculum, we had stakeholder engagement with parents and the business community. It was wide, and we are going to continue in that path as we move along through the pilot phase of the curriculum. And especially, and I'm happy that you mentioned the parents, we will be engaging our parents more and more, and we're going to be doing it across the districts.
Parents are sometimes, some parents are individual, you don't ever keep up with the curriculum of school. But I say they don't keep up, they only know their children came home with homework.
and that's the beauty of this curriculum. That's one of the beauties of this curriculum. A parent now will be able to readily just go there and and whatsoever that teacher is doing in the class, that teacher can follow easily. They can see what's happening, and they can simply ask, but we are now midway through term 3, but we have not seen XYZ happening. So it is
gauge your son or daughter's performance also.
You can
in terms of what they're picking up.
How they're picking up.
I like it for that aspect.
And it also allow parents to hold us accountable.
Why is my son or daughter not getting to that point if that has been taught already?
Exactly.
We need to revisit that. Sometimes a parent may say, well, my son is they're in page 5. Let's say he's here in their math book, but somehow his level is at page 2. Why is it my son? So is it the teacher to be blamed, or is it my son or daughter is not the one that is absorbing properly what has been taught? Various reasons come in for that. So they can keep abreast of it that way with that new curriculum.
They can definitely keep abreast of that new curriculum, and then it kind of gives us the opportunity to reflect and say, then, am I really using the strategies to meet the needs of that particular student? How then can I engage? And with the platform I'm also speaking to, one of the things it allows, data collection is very important, and data governs how we move, the direction in which we go, and based on how we use the data, how it is going to improve what we do. So the teacher can use the data in front of him as they assess the children, and when they have these engagement with parents, they can show to them right there and then, this is where we are, this is where your child is at, this is how he or she has been performing, this is what we've done.
Get that extra help or assistance for them in that way. So of course, until we do for a break, let's take it. When we come back, we continue the conversation. Stay with us, folks. It's To The Point, Classic Radio, GBN TV. We will certainly be right back after the break. Don't touch it out, folks. Stay with us.
Grenada, get ready to cheer for Kirani, Anderson, Lyndon and others as they join over 2,000 athletes from around the world in Tokyo, Japan for the 2025 World Athletic Championship from September 13th to 21st. GBN Television goes live from the Japan National Stadium, bringing you exciting coverage of every race, every throw, every jump as the athletes vie for track and field supremacy. Remember the dates: September 13th to 21st, the 2025 World Athletic Championship, Tokyo, Japan, live on GBN Television, 7 and 11. Compliments: Grenada Cooperative Bank, Hubbard's, Glen, and the National Lotteries Authority.
Stumps ready? The biggest party in sports is back. It's Republic Bank CPL 2025. Bowls off August 14th to September 21st. 34 matches, 6 teams, 6 nations. Your Caribbean cricket frenzy. From big sixes to deadly yorkers, catch every boundary, every wicket, every moment. Live on GBN TV and Classic Radio. This is not just cricket. This is CPL 2025. Don't miss a ball.
GBN's broadcast of CPL 2025 is made possible by Republic Bank, Hubbard's, Glen, Echo Blue Limited, Demerara Mutual Life, Answer Coatings, and Flow.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers. It's To The Point for today, Wednesday, the 10th day of September, 2025. With me this morning, we have Mr. Johnell Mitchell with us this morning, representing the Ministry of Education, and we're talking about the new digital OECS harmonized primary curriculum this morning. And I certainly hope that our listeners and viewers are following the conversation. And of course, as a parent, it's important for you to understand, how your daughter and sons and daughters, per se, are going through in school with this new curriculum. And certainly you could participate, as you mentioned, you could go onto the site and look at it yourself and try to follow through in terms of how your son or daughter is performing in the overall curriculum that the school is offering. We had the launch yesterday. Tell me about it. What is expected coming up in the next couple of months?
So coming out of that launch yesterday, it was a matter of presenting that platform to the general public, saying that here we are ready to transform the educational landscape in Grenada here. That also shows that the Ministry of Education is fully on board with that project, with this initiative. So we have the support of the Ministry of Education of the Government of Grenada. And moving forward, it's a matter of lending, as I've made mention of it before, lending support to our teachers.
All right.
We must be there with them. We have our curriculum officers, our district education officers, our early childhood officers, our officers, special education needs officers. We all will be partnering together. We will be going into the schools. We will be meeting with principals one-on-one. We will be meeting with teachers one-on-one. We will be chatting with our students. So it is a phased approach, as I said, where we are going to go there to support our teachers, because you want to, while the support, because after the pilot, while yes, the support is going to continue, I no longer will be, for example, be sitting in this role in 2026.
So true.
Okay?
All right.
So now we have to ensure that we give our schools all the support as much as possible, because one of the things we want to do is when we are finished with this pilot, we gather enough data to inform changes to the curriculum. Where we need to correct issues, we're going to seek to correct issues. The areas that are working great, we want to make sure that we maintain that. Because when the pilot is complete and we put that out there, full implementation, we wouldn't be able to just jump and change anymore.
Okay.
And that's what, as I said initially, the micropilot informed us.
Okay.
We use the feedback from the micropilot to inform the pilot. Now, the pilot is going to inform us as to what additional things that we need to do. Coming out of this, then we can have a curriculum that is fully ready for our teachers to engage in. Now, while it is happening in Grenada, we have our 12 pilot schools in Grenada. The same thing is happening in St. Lucia at this time.
Okay.
Dominica, St. Vincent, St. Kitts, Antigua, Anguilla, BVI, all of them right now, they are also going through the pilot phase.
Similar pilot phase. In their own format as in their local way.
In the local way. A lot of similarities will come out. So we are going to draw on the similarities with the issues, and that is going to also inform the changes. As a matter of fact, we have regular engagements with our OECS territories where we sit together and we point out the issues we're having, the challenges one country might be facing, because we are similar in many ways, as I've stated initially. We are very similar. So we sit together and we discuss, decisions are made.
There may be concerns still. You did speak about the support that will be offered to teachers, but there may be concerns about teachers who not everyone may be affair in the technology and so forth. There are teachers who, even at this day and age, may not always want to go on a computer. There are individuals who still want to do that pen and paper in terms of what they're doing.
Correct.
How is this going to be? How is this going to be able to solve that problem? Or the ministry intends to solve that problem?
I wouldn't see it as a problem. And you would want to understand and believe in the fact that these are maybe some of those teachers who do not even embrace the technology as it is right now, maybe even be some of the better teachers within the classroom. So what we have to do, we have to still work with them. And that's why there's also the PDF format of that curriculum. They can just go, pull the PDF, pull the essential learning outcomes, which are the broad general outcomes, pull the specific curriculum outcomes, and do the lesson plans. And by the way, I believe in the power of the brain.
Yes.
Because sometimes we become over-reliant on technology to think for us, and we lose our creativity. So a teacher who still sits and writes his or her lesson plans and think through the concepts and all of that,
it's all good stuff.
It's all good. What we need to do is to lend support to them, to show them how the technology can assist them in one way or the other to build on what they're already doing. Additionally, what we've done, and we have encouraged, as a matter of fact, some schools are doing it, is to have professional development sessions with the staff, pulling on our IT officers to assist with the technology, or pulling on staff members right within the schools who are good with the technology to have sessions. So we speak of collaboration among themselves, among staff, so that they can use it in such a way to help one another. So yes, there are the people who would not fully embrace the technology, and that's okay. We just have to walk along with them because they have their roles to play likewise within this setup.
Also, let me ask you this. How significant will be this new digital curriculum, for Grenada? How significant will it be?
We've heard quite a bit of digitization of a number of things. As a matter of fact, government entities, they're highly digital in one way or the other, paying of or license fees, examinations. It's a lot of online component. You don't even have to go stand in a line anymore. when you think about it, you get your bank statement at your fingertips. Everything is moving in a digital age right now. So that in itself is becoming a part of the current setup. So it is significant, the digital curriculum. What it offers is that teachers right there, as they plan, they can access resources, because within that curriculum, likewise, there are a number of resources right there, and then activities and all of that they can quickly just touch a button, access it, use it right there and then with the students. So for example, Grenada is a small state. Small. However, we have a number of schools that are in rural spaces. Let's assume I'm doing a lesson about the beach, and I am in a school that is not close to the beach. I may have gone to the beach, but I may go to the beach once or twice a year, unlike some of our coastal schools.
Yes.
So, a teacher is preparing a lesson on the beach. I can't bring the class to the beach right now. We think about cost and bus and all of that it takes. But what can you do? Add the touch. We can pull up an entire video presenting one of our local beaches. The teacher presents that right there and there in the classroom.
Yes.
The curriculum in itself, it presents the teacher with the opportunity to do so. It has links to videos that they can use right there based on the topic that they're doing in a particular subject area. All of that has been a part of the curriculum that we've created.
So there's lots of benefits across the board.
Across the board.
Lots of benefits.
Yes, definitely.
All right. We have approximately just around 7 minutes or so left on today's program. We give the opportunity to our listeners and viewers who, of course, this conversation may have brought up some interest to you, and you may want to ask a question or two. I beg of you to be brief for time purposes, folks. We're going to go to the phone line and entertain our first caller. Caller, you're live. Good morning and welcome.
Thank you very much. Gentlemen, I was in the classroom years ago, and I'm not satisfied that sufficient catering is made for the slow learner. We are all at various levels, but we don't learn at the same rate. And as a result of that, you can have all the technology, all the whatnot, and I don't see us getting it. Plus, you have parents, at home who bright, some of them can't read and all. How would the catering for the slow learner be made? Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Thank you,
caller. I love that. I love that point that you're making. You've made a tremendous point here. It's a valid point that in our classroom there are different learning abilities. And yes, I do agree with you that I believe that sometimes we do not cater enough for our slow learners. So I am agreeing with you. However, what I'm saying here to you, with the curriculum, what we've done, we have provided teachers with a number of means, a number of ways, a number of teaching strategies and accommodations that can be made once fully utilized that can reach those slow learners. If you were paying enough attention, you may have heard me speak to the point of the assessment that is being done. And as the teacher assesses, he or she sees where his students are performing. Those who are performing way below average, above average, and he quickly says to them, look, you need to make some adjustment to your teaching to cater for these students. And all the teacher now needs to do is to go right into that platform and find ways that will be able to help them to work with those slow learners. So once the curriculum is embraced in the way it should be embraced, We know that results can be seen. However, what we also need to do as Ministry of Education, as principals, as senior teachers, is to lend support to teachers, guide them to ensure that those needs are met.
All right, we do have another caller. Caller, you're live. Good morning, welcome.
Good morning. I'll be very brief. I want to ask this question. Is there a chance that we can add civics to the curriculum in schools? Is there a chance at all? There's no chance, because I think that's a very good subject, should be added to the curriculum in all the secondary schools and in every school for that matter. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so
caller.
much.
And caller, I would say to you, there's a tremendous chance. And a matter of fact, I've been saying social studies. Yes, and under that social studies component, and even in the kindergarten curriculum right now that has been written, if you engage in it, you're going to see that there's a strong aspect of civics education coming out of it. So, yes, caller, the opportunity is there. And while I'm at that, you can engage in the curriculum. You can engage the curriculum. It's oecslearninghub.org, and it's available for you to go on, and you're going to see what's happening in all of the different subject areas.
All right.
You can see it right there.
I mean, is the drill allowed also to give feedback from the general public in terms of it? Is there a component of that in terms of what they may like to see implemented if that option is available?
We want to have an appreciation for process.
Yes.
Because a lot of us will want to see a number of things, and you know what can happen there.
Yeah.
But there are things that we just have to filter that we want to see out there. So it has to go through a process where we look at it, we engage in discussions, stakeholder engagement, and see how relevant it is, see whether or not it is already there, because there may be one thing you're asking for, but because as a public, you may not fully understand the curriculum as it is.
Okay.
You may not realize that, but it's already there. So what can happen, and we are going to encourage that. We are going to encourage that. Even as the public interacts with the curriculum, we are saying to you, you can feed us that information.
Yeah.
It's okay to feed us that information. Feed the information to your schools, because every school is within a community. The principals get it. They're going to find a way to get it to us. Your students, your child, you're not seeing certain things. You have that conversation, and not while I'm saying a conversation where it's going to be that beautiful dialogue between parent and teacher, and say, but no, I'm not seeing that in the curriculum. How then can we? And we know for a fact that those teachers, they're going to filter those information to us. And there are systems in place right there in the curriculum where feedback can be given.
Okay.
And that will be taken into consideration.
There's a process that it may have to go through.
There is a process that it has to go through.
Let's take another caller, which may be your final caller for the morning. Caller, you're live. Good morning, welcome.
Yes, I called back. Why go through all this rigmarole? You do not have a curriculum for physics. And I'm asking, are you going to put one on? I mean, you're talking all nonsense about it is there and it is
Caller, have a good morning. Caller, have a good morning. You know, we're not going to accept the level of that conversation in that way. But tell us. The curriculum will be, of course, we're looking at full implementation. You said this year is going to be the final year for it, hopefully. 2026, looking at full implementation. Where's the way forward, finally, for after the implementation and everything else in terms of the curriculum?
The end goal is that every learner succeeds.
Yeah.
That's the end goal. And when we speak of success, we're not speaking of academic success only. We're speaking of a learner who is going to become a global citizen.
Yeah.
One who would be able to be involved in civic participation in their lifetime. One who would be able to make meaningful contribution to society, the communities, to impact change. And we believe that the curriculum as it is aids in that process through all the levels of engagement that it has gone through the way it has been structured for teaching and learning. We believe that it prepares our students for the future. So while, yes, there's a high component of technology and all of these other things embedded in it, our aim is not just about technology and digitizing a curriculum, but our aim is presenting a curriculum to teachers that they can be able to use to impact change in students, ensure that every learner succeeds and that each learner who succeeds will be able to make a positive impact on society. Because we live, as we use that term, as we've always coined it, in a global village. And when we talk about a global village, we talk about that oneness. So that Grenadian student, after learning, can go anywhere in the world and fit in based on the level of education and the kind of education that we are providing right here, with partnering with the current curriculum as it is.
Right.
Yes.
Of course, Mitchell, anything in closing? We do for time. Of course, we're about to wrap up. So anything in closing before we forget?
And we want to encourage everyone to be a part of the educational process, the educational journey. The Ministry of Education doesn't have it all. Our teachers and our principals, they don't have it all. They need our support. And what we've seen fit is to revise our curriculum, make it more relevant to the 21st century. We had a curriculum that was done 20 years ago, a 19th century curriculum, 20th century curriculum, and we are living in the 21st century. Yes? When we do think about it.
We definitely due for changes.
So we are due for changes. And we're asking you, you can engage. Public, you can go right out there and engage in curriculum. See what it says. And the caller that just called, I want to encourage you. I'm going to give you a personal challenge. I want to personally challenge you to embrace the curriculum. Go into it. Look under the social studies component. Look under the kindergarten component. See for yourself what it can do. Put in some of the prompts. Ask for what it is you want. Before you make the comments, see what it can do. I personally challenge you on that. I personally challenge you on that. And I am challenging all of us. Let's embrace the change that is presented to us. We say that we have problems. We are here to see how much we can fix some of the issues that are facing us. Will we get all of it right? Right off the bat? No. But will we continue to grow? I firmly believe that as a nation, that we will continue to grow. And the digital OECS harmonized primary curriculum, in its current construct, in the framework when it was conceived and looked at, we took everything into consideration to build a nation, to build a OECS, to build a territory that would be able to represent itself on the global landscape.
All right. So, Mitchell, I want to thank you so much for coming and sharing information this morning. And I certainly wish all the best in this particular new digital curriculum that is thrown out. Certainly hope the success of it. And we will see better understanding for teachers and students in the future. Hopefully for that.
GT, it's been a pleasure being here.
And it's a pleasure to have you very much. All the best. Hey, folks, that's what we're going to take a wrap for today's edition of To The Point. I want to thank all who contributed to today's program. Thank you so much. Have a good one. That's where we say goodbye.